Uganda Law Reform Commission, which is mandated to study the country's laws and keep them under constant review, says it has interacted with stakeholders in the externalization of labour sector for 2 years. It says most participants complained about battering of Ugandan migrant workers in the destination countries, withholding or reduction of remuneration, body mutilation which sometimes leads to death, sexual harassment, compulsion to work for several employers, and long working hours, among others. After interviews and reviewing the existing laws, the Commission has found that there is a lack of substantive legislation on externalization of Ugandan labour. There is insufficient regulations on Ugandan migrant workers. Uganda has not ratified some key international and regional instruments on the protection of migrant workers, lack of legal and institutional framework, limited capacity and appreciation of labour migration knowledge and skills. They found that the current employment regulations do not address dignity and rights of Ugandan migrant workers, and lack of harmony in employment regulations on migrant workers in East Africa.
Uganda is obliged to strengthen labour migration governance, advance opportunities for regulated labour migration and decent work, and enhance the protection of migrant workers and their families.
They recommend that Uganda ratifies and domesticates international and regional instruments on migrant workers, amend Employment Act to provide for external labour, enact comprehensive substantive legislation, adopt a mandatory requirement to signing of bilateral labour agreements with destination countries, include human rights protection clauses in the bilateral agreements, increase sensitization efforts on externalization of workers, improve coordination, communication and cooperation among the government MDAs, deploy labour attaches to prominent missions in countries of destination, and operationalize the Joint Monitoring and Supervision Committee.
Geared towards ensuring that externalization of labour is streamlined with a substantive legislation that, one, seeks to enhance coordination and regulation of recruitment agencies in the country. Two, that they will seek to protect the rights of migrant workers through bilateral labour agreements.
Validating the findings of the study in Kampala, it was revealed that government is lining up an amendment in the Employment Act to tighten the grip on external labour recruitment agencies.
The plan is that it should be there, it should be concluded, or at least it should be somewhere by the end of the next financial year, because it's one of the items on the legislative agenda.
Do we improve on the existing law? Do we get another law? So those should be the issues now.
Labour migration governance in Uganda has been an ongoing debate pointing at new tougher legislation and implementation to save Ugandans whose desperation to seek opportunities abroad grows with Uganda's unemployment levels.
This report is to be forwarded to Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, but the challenges associated with externalization of labour continue. Finding a solution to them depends on government's attitude to recommendations like this. Edward Muhumza, NTV.